My name's Kathy Murray Peppis, and I am a health secretary at Cedarwood Elementary. We are in Paradise, California.
My name is Chloe Murray. I like to swim and do basketball and cook. I like to cook like cakes or big meals.
So if you know me, you know that my hobby is my family, and I enjoy spending time with my kids and my grandkids. We like to swim and take family walks and do as much as we can outdoors. We also like to have big family dinners and just spend time together. For me, the best moment so far in rebuilding was when we were able to finally break ground, which was in June. 18 months after the fire, so it's been a little bit of a long haul, but we were able to break ground this summer. And the cool thing is our whole family was able to come have sparkling cider with the contractor and our superintendent and the guys that were doing the excavation work. So it was really fun to have all the little grandkids here and everyone be a part of, like the beginning of the house. Okay, so for me, as soon as we were allowed to come back into Paradise, I was ready to come. So we were living in a trailer in Chico, and as soon as I knew that we could come back, I asked a friend of mine if I could buy one of his houses that survived the fire. And it did catch on fire, so it had some repairs that needed to be done. But I was just really anxious to get back to Paradise, not necessarily to my home yet, but to Paradise. And we were drinking bottled water. We weren't really too concerned about what was going to be available, just that we were going to be able to come back. And then as far as this house, luckily, because I've lived here my whole life, I pretty much know somebody in every sector. And so I've been able to, get my water hooked up and have someone come out and hook up PG&E and all these things. So those kind of things haven't really been an issue for me. And nothing, from the very beginning, I was planning to rebuild, and I wasn't really too concerned with what the obstacles were going to be. I just was determined to do it. So since COVID hit, it hit right about the time that I was turning in my building permit for this house. Like I said, I was a year with another contractor, so we finally got the building permit turned in, and then COVID hit. So everything was taking a long time. The trust reports took forever because there was one guy doing all of the calculations and at 𝐬𝐚𝐾𝐡𝐲, and then we couldn't get concrete, and because it was coming from China and they weren't accepting the cement, and my contractor had to pay a pretty high price to have Shasta Ready Mix bring 8 trucks up here, 20-minute intervals to pour the foundation because there was no concrete to be found. And so COVID has definitely put a damper on trying to keep the momentum up. But that is happening everywhere. It's not just Paradise. COVID is taking a hit on every sector and every community. But for us, the power outages are a little tough. That we've had a couple evacuations that we had to do recently, and my awesome framers were here working all through the evacuations. They could barely see, and they were out here pounding away, getting these walls up. So I really appreciate that. But with that being said, every time I drive through town, I see a new house. It's like my little 2-year-old grandson is always like, "Grandma, another house," and it's so exciting to see other people coming back. And I know how excited I am to come back home and to be able to walk in my front door. And even though I'm living in Paradise right now on the other side of town, this is my home, and I can't wait to be able to come back. So for me, I would say to anybody that's thinking about returning, it is well worth the wait. My friends that have come back already, that have moved back home, are so happy to just be in their own home. My neighbor next door, Rick, just moved in this weekend on his birthday, and he is really excited. His family is really excited to be back. For me, just being able to be back home, this is my home. I lived here for 30 years with my kids. I raised them all here, and For a few minutes after the fire, I was thinking, like, where am I going to live? You know, because they were saying the town was destroyed. And I thought, like, you know, do I move to Grass Valley? Do I move to Durham? You know, where could I live? And honestly, I couldn't see myself anywhere else. Like, this is the only place I know how to live. Like, I've lived here for my whole life, and all of my kids have been raised here, and you know, for them to come visit me somewhere else, that wouldn't be them coming home. It would just be them coming to, you know, to visit. But this is our home. This is where my kids caught the bus every morning, you know, and so for me, it is well worth the wait. And the people who are still here are the neighbors that you want to have, because they're determined and they're willing to go through these hardships. They're willing to deal with the power outages and, you know, and the fire evacuations that are still going on, because they love this town, they love their community, and they want to be a part of it no matter what it takes to be here. So, you know, it's worth the wait. The campfire was horrific for everybody. Everybody that went through that, they will never forget it. But in our family, we lost 12 homes. 12 of our family members, you know, lost homes. But we all made it out fine. You know, we made it out safely. And the silver lining in all of this is, right after the fire, my son Kevin called and he said, he lived in Tucson. He's like, Mom, Anna and I have been talking, and we want to move back. You know, we want to move back to Paradise. We don't want to see it become like a ghost town, and we want to be part of rebuilding. Gratefully, they're in technology, and because of the fire, we have new high-speed internet, and so they were able to move back. So my son, his wife, and their 2 kids are here. And so my other son, who was in Boise, he decided, well, if his brother is coming back, that he would come back too. So they've moved here. We found them an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, and just a couple weeks ago, they put an offer on a house just like 3 properties down from here on Neal. And so they're going to be living in that house within, I think they close on Friday. So they're here, and they have a 2-year-old and 1 baby on the way. And then my son Carson, who was at school, he's like, Mom, I'm going to come home and do my internship, you know, in Chico, so I can be home. So he came back, and Chloe's parents, they're rebuilding. Their house was lost, and they're rebuilding their house in 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐬𝐬. So the silver lining for our family is, after the fire, our whole family has been able to return here. And, you know, even with COVID, it's been really great because we still get together as a family, and we're able to, you know, bond and help each other. And so, you know, God has a way of watching out for us and kind of turning things around. And I'm grateful for that experience, grateful to be able to be back in a house that's big enough to have my whole family together. The one I'm in right now is a little cramped. So we're all looking forward to being here. And, you know, that is a silver lining. And I know many of my friends have those little silver linings in their story as well. And so we're happy about that. I'm born and raised here. My dad came out here from Florida. I think I mentioned that to you. He drove out here with 2 little babies. And my mom, 55 years ago. And you know, he kind of started us out here in California. And we just enjoy this area. We enjoy, my kids have loved going down to the river and swimming. We have loved all the community gatherings and all the great friends that we have here. I think I mentioned that, you know, there really isn't anything that I've come across in my life that I needed help with that I don't know someone here that can help me, you know, and, you know, from fixing my car to pouring concrete, doing electrical work, you know, it's just, when you live somewhere for a long time, you know everybody, and it's a great feeling. My kids, you know, were married here, and we'd have big wedding receptions, and there were people that showed up at 6 a.m. and work until, you know, 11:30 at night, helping us put on our wedding reception. And, you know, I didn't pay anybody to do any of those things. They were just there to help me. And I do the same for them. You know, I've done many wedding receptions for my friends and their kids, and And, you know, when you're in a big city, you hire somebody to do all that stuff, you know. And in Paradise, you know, we're all here. We're dedicated to each other and want to help one another. And like I said, it's worth going through these other things, these little hardships, to have that again.